Hello, welcome to the 72 podcast, where today we're talking about the most underrated players in the Championship. Joined as ever by our social media manager, Adam Reek. How are we doing?
Yeah, good. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Thank you. Championship's most underrated players, but first we should probably give a mention to Jermain Defoe, who's today announced his retirement with immediate effect. We do a lot of Sunderland stuff, don't we? You're a Sunderland fan. Yeah, what do you make of it?
Strange, to be fair. I don't know. Obviously, like, I wish him well, and he's a legend here. You know, everything he's done, that Derby goal, and, you know, the way he looked after Bradley and everything. Like, he is a legend here, but I just find this a bit funny. Like, what was it, about 7 weeks ago, we messed about the whole January window trying to bring him in. Apparently, it was like a reason for Lee Johnson falling out with the board and stuff because he didn't want him. We finally get him in on deadline day, and now 7 weeks later, he's retiring. He said that his body's catching up with him. He was sat on Talk Sports saying he's the fittest he's ever been. He's left us with one striker. We've got Nathan Broadhead, who's injured at the moment. So if he comes back, then it's two. But again, he's arguably a winger, if anything. That's where he's been playing for us early on in the season. I don't get why he can't just wait 5 weeks. Like I say, if it's something in his personal life, then fair enough. But it doesn't appear to be that, because that's not what he's been saying. It looks as if he's realised he's 39. Well, did he not realise he was 39?
I think he underestimated League One, because obviously last time he was Sunderland in Premier League player. Do you think he's come here thinking, it'll be just as easy, if not easier, than the Scottish Premiership? I know. He realised it's a bit tougher.
He's playing 10 minutes at the end. Like, I'm not being funny. I've done both my ligaments. I haven't played for 7 years. I could play 10 minutes at the end in League One. I might not be very good, but at least I'm another body in the squad. I don't get it. It's not going to hamper his relationship with the Sunderland fans, like, not at all. But it's a bit like, did you just come here for selfish reasons and now you've left us in the crap kind of thing?
Strange one.
Anyway, just on that, Diego Costa's a free agent, so if he wants to come down and play in League One, then
I swear he was linked with some random EFL club.
Who, Diego Costa? It's not like Sheffield United or someone.
Could have been. Just some random reporter on Twitter saying Diego Costa's now a target of. Can't remember who though, but
we'll end up getting Hal Robson-Kanu.
Isn't he selling turmeric now or something? I don't think he's going to you, mate.
Who?
Hal Robson-Kanu.
What does he do?
He's got a turmeric business. I swear down. Let me actually Google it, because I don't want to make a mug of myself by saying it's Hal Robson-Kanu.
What's turmeric?
It's like, he runs a successful turmeric business called the Turmeric Co, selling turmeric.
What is turmeric?
It's like I don't know, what do you call it? Like a powder, like a spice, I think.
All right. Well, if he wants to sell that, I'm sure he can sell it in a Luton Town centre if he wants to put up a stall.
Few fans at Sunderland, maybe he's got a good market there. But anyway, we're off track. Most underrated players in the Championship. Pretty difficult video because there's so many underrated players in the Championship. It's such an underrated league. But if you want, I'll get things started. My first pick, Elijah Adebayo, probably the most underrated player for the most underrated team, playing under the most underrated manager in the Championship. I think Elijah Adebayo has been a quality signing for Luton, joined from Walsall last season. Playing in League One, was Walsall in League One last season, did get relegated to League Two. Now he's in the Championship. He's fired his team up to third in the league, and I did a little look over his stats from the start of this year. Elijah Adebayo's goals in 2022 have put 6 points on the board for Luton. He got winning goals in games against, if you bear with me, Bristol City. Couple of other teams. I don't want to keep you waiting. I'm looking on flash scores now. But Elijah Adebayo, just quality, and you see some of the goals he scored. I watched a quick highlights video as well. he's just one of those strikers who's complete striker. Like, you know, he scores goals with both feet, he scores goals with his head. He's always in the right position in the box, and that's such a forgotten kind of trait of a good striker. It's just to be in the right place at the right time. You don't have to do all this like fancy stuff.
Like, he can score goals on his own, and he's also a poacher.
Yeah. He sets up goals as well. Was it Hull City they played last weekend? He scored the first goal and set up the second. The second goal, he dispossessed the Hull defender right on the edge of the box, muscled him off, played in Harry Cornick for a unselfish pass, played in Harry Cornick for a goal. But Elijah Adebayo, I just love Luton at the minute. Nathan Jones, I think some people love him, some people hate him. I can see why people hate him because he's just a bit extra, isn't he? You know, he's got the Stone Island.
You'd hate him if he supported the team that you're rivals with. That's Stone Island court.
He loves it, Nathan Jones, but he's doing such a class job. He's signed. Well, Luton, their recruitment has been pretty class.
Yeah.
Since they've been back in the Championship. So yeah, that's my first choice, Elijah Adebayo. Who's yours?
Mine is Ryan Yates from Nottingham Forest. Last season, he was a bit hit and miss with the Nottingham Forest fans. I think if he was to leave in the summer, last summer, not many would have been bothered. But this season, he's been unbelievable. Played in defence, played in midfield, and 34 games, 7 goals. And, you know, for 24-year-olds, I think this was a big season for him because, like I say, if he didn't perform this season, his market value could have just dropped. It could have plummeted. And, you know, he could have found himself at like a top League One club or a lower Championship club. But no, he's been fantastic this season. He scored some important goals as well. You know, he scored a decent goal against Reading, albeit it was a huge mistake by the keeper. But, you know, just he had the confidence to take on the strike. And I think that's the thing with Ryan Yates. I think he is a confidence player. And for that reason, yeah, Ryan Yates.
Yeah, I watched him play against Liverpool the other day. Should have scored one. Should have been sent off for diving, mate, I thought. But but before we did this video, Jack Colback came to my mind, Forest midfielder, just because he's filled in at left back for a lot of the season and he's done a decent job. My next pick for underrated player is Luke Amos, QPR. QPR fans are so frustrated at the minute with Warburton, with his tactics and his substitutions. I think Luke Amos is at the centre of that because, you know, when fans think he should be starting, he's not. When fans think he should be on the pitch, he's being substituted. Last game out against Peterborough, he was the person who put them in front, and then after an hour, or before an hour, he was taken off. So, he was out for like the best part of a year. So maybe the fans don't know the full extent of his injury. He's just quality, though. 4 goals in 22 games this season. I remember watching him as a youngster at Spurs playing in the Europa League. He must have been like 20 years old, and he looked like he was going to be one of those players who, under Pochettino, went into the first team. But I think injuries kind of hampered his career. He came to QPR 3 years ago now. And I still think of him as a young player. Yeah, he's 25 years old now. He's not really a young player anymore, so he really needs to start kicking on. But if it's not injuries with Luke Amos, it's Mark Warburton just having faith in him. So
it's worth saying, though. I know. Obviously, he's played 22 games, but he's only started 8, and he averages a goal every 200 minutes.
Yeah, QPR's what is it, second most?
Yeah, for midfield, that's got to be one of the best goals for.
He's behind only Andre Gray in the goals per minute, something like a goal every 200 minutes for Luke Amos. But he's just such an all-round midfielder as well. You know, you can probably put him in a defensive position and they'll do a job. Put him in an attacking role and he scores goals as well. But yeah, Luke Amos, I think he's got a big future at QPR. He's a player. This is how underrated I think he is. I really think QPR could kind of build a squad around him. They've got a lot of good midfielders, but a lot of them haven't lived up to expectation of late. Like Stefan Johansson, Jeff Hendrick from Newcastle, who's been pretty dog since he's joined from on loan. So Luke Amos for me, quality player.
I saw a tweet actually about a QPR fan was a bit moaning that Sam McCallum and Hendrick was playing for them when they're going to go back on low, when they're going to go back to the parent club, saying they're wasting time being here, like let our own players play kind of thing.
Yeah, McCallum I can understand because Warburton's not really had a proper left back since he joined the club, but Hendrick, you know, he's playing over like players like Amos. It's just frustrating for a QPR fan.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a very good shout. Secondly, I've gone for Gustavo Hamer at Coventry City. When I say underrated, he's not underrated in terms of Coventry fans. You know, they absolutely love him, but I feel as if he's underrated in terms of the whole league, because I think if you were to ask the normal fan, name your top 5 Championship centre midfielders, the only people that would probably have Gustavo Hamer in it is Coventry fans, because I don't think the rest of the league realise how good he is. Obviously, he joined Coventry last season. You know, had a good start to the season. He was fantastic. Again, this season, he started off well, dropped a little bit, but his performances, when I say dropped a little bit, I mean 3 or 4 games, but his performances all season have just been fantastic. And he's had 3 goals, 6 assists. That's in 30 starts. And my favourite stat out the lot: 13 yellow cards. He's just a little bulldog when he's on. Yeah, he's a centre midfielder I just like. He's a bit horrid, but at the same time, he's good on the ball. And he just gets himself all over the place. He's got a little touch of class about him. There seems to be a lot of players coming over from Holland, not necessarily the Championship, but around Europe, who are like that small, fit player in centre mid. But
Nigel de Jong.
Yeah, Nigel de Jong.
Is that kind of fun, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but there was a lad at PSV a couple of years ago as well. He was destined for the top, and I think Gustavo Hamer is similar to that. You know, just like I say, good on the ball, but he's also got that nasty side to him.
Yeah.
I think Coventry fans, you know, they're lucky to have him, and Ben Sheaf and Callum O'Hare. That's a cracking midfield. Even though Ben Sheaf actually played defence, I think recently, but no, definitely Gustavo Hamer. And I think if Coventry, will he go in the summer? I'm not sure. I think they might have another year of him max before he does end up in the Premier League.
Yeah, I read I read a report from Coventry Live yesterday, and it said Hamer could leave in the summer if the money's right, because
Really?
Celtic and Rangers have both been linked with him. But just goes to show you how good it is, doesn't it? I think a lot of centre mids can go underrated because they're playing in the middle of the park, the ball just passes them by sometimes, but the work they do goes underrated. Luke Amos, Hamer. My third choice is another centre mid. I've gone for Matt Grimes at Swansea. I'm just looking at his stats from the last few seasons. He's missed like 4 games in the last 4 seasons. That alone, to stay that fit and that available throughout 4 whole seasons, is an achievement in itself. And it's kind of like Hamer, you know, a lot of Championship fans wouldn't probably say Grimes is in their like best Championship 11, but Swansea City fans would. I know he's split opinion in the past with Swansea supporters. He's a bit of a, he's probably sometimes, sideways passing.
But then I think I put a tweet on saying he's played the most forward passes in the Championship or something.
Yeah, I don't know how it's fickle, isn't it? People will say, "Oh, he's a backwards passer," but then he'll have the best game of his career, and everyone's like, "This guy is like so underrated." But for me, I think he is underrated. I think he wanted to go. Fulham wanted to sign him last summer, didn't he?
Forest as well, was it?
There was a few teams. Yeah, I just remember Fulham being the main one. But to miss out on a move to Fulham, who are top of the Championship, and stay at Swansea, who struggled, but to keep his head down and not kind of throw his dummy out about it, that's professionalism. And he's been around for ages, hasn't he? But he's only 26 years old. Yeah, he doesn't turn 27 till the summertime. Yeah, he's probably only just coming to the peak of his career, if not then in a couple of years. So,
he's got plenty of time left.
He's got plenty of time left to become a Premier League player. He's one of those players who started out at Exeter as well. I've just seen at the bottom of his page. Wasn't that where Ollie Watkins began? Ollie Watkins, yeah. So Matt Grimes for me, underrated player, and I think he's built for the way Russell Martin wants to play. If there's a manager to get the best out of him, it's probably Russell Martin for me.
Definitely Russell Martin for the passing. My last choice is a Preston defender, and it's Seb Vandenberg. Similar to what I've just said about Gustavo Hamer at Coventry, he's not underrated between the Preston fans, but if you were to ask any neutral, name the 5 best defenders in the Championship, only Preston fans would say Seb Vandenberg. and it goes again with what I'm saying. I think that makes them. Your dog's getting a bit excited.
Maybe.
What he does is he sits at the window and just barks at everyone that goes past. That's going. You're on the 72 show.
Hey, Max, how you doing? Welcome to the 72 show.
Right, hi, Seth Vandenberg.
Yeah, well.
So yeah, obviously he's on loan from Liverpool at the moment, so he'll be going back there. But I can't see him breaking through in the Liverpool team himself. But I think he'll get definitely a good loan move to the Premier League. He's one of them players where, to be fair, he was playing right wing back for Preston at the start of the season, and he was performing well. But his best position is definitely centre back, and he's one of them players that knows how to play centre back, and that is so hard to find. And it all just comes from understanding distances between the opposition players and your fellow centre backs, angles of separation, your body orientation of crosses, just awareness, positioning, and that's something that he has in a bundle, and that'll be able to be used in the Premier League. So for me, Seth Vandenberg is definitely the most underrated defender in the Championship. Like I say, not amongst Preston fans, but definitely amongst the neutral.
Is he the one on loan from Liverpool?
Yeah, from Liverpool. I think he's made the most tackles or interceptions in the league.
Do you think he's a future Liverpool player then?
I'm not so sure, because probably not, but he'll get a good move to a Premier League club, like, you know, like a Newcastle, or not Newcastle now because they've got all the money, but do you know a side that's about 50? I tell you what, Brighton. He'd be very good at Brighton.
Oh, Brentford. You got that style.
Yeah, because they both play threes at the back, didn't they?
What I was going to say. So yeah, that's a load of underrated players. There's loads more though, isn't there? Couple that sprung to mind.
Have you got any others just off the top of your head?
Top of my head, who I was thinking about, Jack Colback, Sam Field, QPR, Bobby Deckard over Reed at Fulham. I think he's underrated.
Yeah, that's a good shout. That is a good shout.
He just chips away, doesn't he? He chips away and he chips in with goals and assists. Anyone from Huddersfield, not Huddersfield, actually, yeah, Huddersfield and Luton Town, I was meant to say. Anyone from those two sides. Josh Bowler, pretty good. Andreas Wyman, who's banged in so many goals this season. Check this out. 4th top scorer in the league, 18 goals and 9 assists. Andre Wyman this year. Yeah.
So has he got the second most amount of goal contributions then? How many assists has Solanke got? That'll be the...
Solanke's on 29, Mitrovic on 42 goal contributions. John Swift's an underrated player, 24 goal contributions for him.
Is he? See, 3 players that I was thinking of was maybe Hanno and Masengo at Bristol City, just again because he's a Premier League footballer. Ryan Longman at Hull, just baller. And who's the last one? Ryan Brewster, Sheffield United, just for the simple fact. Honestly, I've had pelters for this in the past, but I stand by it. Ryan Brewster is top 5 strikers in this country when it comes to first-time finishing. Done. That's how the podcast just ends.
That's a bold statement, there. That's a bold statement.
That's how the podcast will end today. Just on that.
Sure, I just clicked end record now. No, we can't do that, mate. We take this seriously on the 72 podcast.
International Frank Lampard there.
Frank Lampard.
No, but seriously.
No, but seriously. International break coming up. One of the most boring times in the football calendar. I think England have got. I don't even know England to play in this international break.
I couldn't care less.
Yeah, could not care less. A few League One games on Saturday. I can have a look at those in a sec. Few League Two games. Just while we're on League One, Sunderland in 6th, unbeaten in 6 or 7 games. I think you told me on. Is it? I think you told me on on one of these videos a while back after Lee Johnson was sacked, or maybe just after Alex Neil came in, that Sunderland will not get in playoffs this season. Have you changed your mind?
Yes. I think we will. I think we will get the playoffs. I think Plymouth and MK Dons are gone. Plymouth points-wise, you could say they are gone, but they've got the hardest running of anyone. So, like 7 of their games, like 5 of them are against like teams in the playoffs or something daft like that. So I think it's probably out of Oxford, Sunderland, Sheffield Wednesday, Wickham for 2 places, and I think Sunderland and Sheffield Wednesday will get it.
Yeah, I'm still back in Sheffield Wednesday. I'm back in Sunderland now. If Sunderland can keep this form going, then they've come into form at the right time.
We were unbelievable against Lincoln. We should have scored like 2 or 3.
Was it goals?
Unbelievable. Should have scored 2 or 3.
The old Chris Martin derby, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Big game. Just looking at the fixtures, Ipswich Plymouth in League One this weekend, and we'll give a little shout out to League Two because we never really do. Bradford City, Newport. Mark Hughes is the manager at Bradford now. Oldham, Mansfield, Port Vale, Sutton, who have booked themselves a Papa John's final against Rotherham, innit? Salford, Walsall, Scunthorpe, Harrogate. And then we're back to Championship action after, well, at the end of the month, start of next month. So if that's everything, we'll call that there. If you've watched the video, like, subscribe, comment. If you've got any ideas for videos, put them in the comments and we'll see what we can do. But we will catch you next time on the 72 podcast.